Hey procrastinators, today I'm back with another crafting Christmas collab, and today I am collaborating with Boryana at Bory's Crafting Place. Her link will be in the description box below, so be sure to go visit that video after you have watched mine. So today we are doing watercoloring, and I decided to break out my Inktense pencils for this. So I am going to start by stamping some stamps from Gina K's old-fashioned Christmas stamp set. So I chose this pretty floral that has a poinsettia, and I believe they are Christmas roses, or also known as hellebores, and a Merry Christmas sentiment. So I'm just going to get this stamped on some watercolor paper. I'm using a Fabriano Artistico's extra white watercolor paper, and I am stamping this in VersaMark. Just going to stamp it a couple times to make sure that I get a good impression. And then we're going to heat emboss this with Hero Art's gold embossing powder. I will pour this on and then I will heat set it off screen. Just going to get that poured on there. All right, so we're all zoomed in here, and I'm going to be using Chilli Red and Crimson for the poinsettia. Now when I use my Inktense, I like to take a brush and take it, a wet brush, and take it to the lead of the pencil, or it's kind of the ink of the pencil, but whatever. And then I bring it to my paper. So I am going a wet brush to dry paper on this technique. And this is the darker of the two colors that I am using, which is the crimson, I believe. Yes, it is the crimson. And now I'm taking the lighter Chilli Red, and I am pulling that out to the edge of the petal. So we're just going to do a couple petals on this. I'm not going to show all of the watercoloring because it did take me some time to do this. So I'm just going to show you a couple petals of this. I'll show you one of the hellebores and then one of the leaves. I did do 2 coats on every single one of these, on all the flowers and all the leaves. And I will show you a little bit of that as well. I don't want to cut out too much of this, but if I showed you all of it, it would take a lot of our time today. So I do the same thing here. I started with the darker color, and then I pulled it out with the lighter color. Every time I go off screen, I am rinsing my brush and then taking the base of the bristles to a tea towel just to take some of that excess water off. And then I am going to the pencil and taking some of that color. So this is the last petal we're going to show for the poinsettia, at least for the first coat. And then we will move on to the second coat, and I will show you what that looks like a little bit. Just going to pull this color out. All right, so on to the second coat. You can see that some of these are dry and some of these are wet, so I'm just going in on the second coat on just the dry ones here. And as I do the dry ones, the wet ones will dry, and then I can do the second coat on those. I'm just going to show you 2 petals for this, and I did the exact same thing. Started with the darker color and then pulled out with the lighter color, or rinse my brush and then pull out with the lighter color. So here's the second one. We're just going to do the darker color, and then, like I said, pull out with the lighter color. It's pretty simple. I find watercoloring pretty forgiving. The Inktense, you have to make sure that you go in while it's still wet. Once Inktense dry, they are permanent, so that does make them a bit different than normal watercolors because it is an ink and not a watercolor really. So once it dries, that is it. All right, so I just showed you the colors that I'm using on the Christmas roses. When I Googled Christmas roses, it seemed like the majority of the colors were either white with a pink tip, burgundy, or ones that were like so dark burgundy they were almost black. So I was going for that one. So when I started off this first layer, they kind of ended up almost like a dark fuchsia. So I did do the colors, let's see, what did I say they were? Red, Violet, and Shiraz. And when I got done with this first layer, I felt like they were just way too light for what I was going for. So when I come back in with the second layer, I'm going to add a darker color of Dusky Purple. I'm still going to keep the Red, Violet, and the Shiraz, but I'm just going to come in with that Dusky Purple, which is much darker. And I will show you that too. And then I also did a third coat on these, but I'm not going to show you that. It's just the same three colors, but I just wanted to darken it up even more. And then that's when I achieved the color that I was kind of looking for. So as you can see, these are coming out not quite the color that I was looking for. I'm looking for a really, really dark red that's almost black, or at least really dark burgundy. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to achieve as dark as I wanted, but these were way not the color I was looking for. They're, like I said, they're almost a dark fuchsia or something. All right, so here's where I added the Dusky Purple. And as you can see, this is a much darker color than the colors that I originally chose, but I'm still adding in the colors that I chose. I'm just added in that darker color, hoping to achieve something much darker than what I originally had. But I still wanted that highlight color to be on the very tips, so I still had some contrast. So I'm just going to show you these two petals, so we're not doing too much repetitive stuff here. I just wanted to show you the darker color. All right, moving on to the leaves. I'm using Spring Green and Ionian Green. And these two colors are a little bit further on the, a little bit further apart as far as contrast goes. I was hoping to get a lot of contrast. When I did I specifically chose this leaf to show you how forgiving they can be. I went in with a drier brush than I probably should have. And then here I'm coming in with the lighter color, and as you can see, they're not wanting to mix together very well because my brush was a little bit too dry. But I'm going to add some more water and come back in with the darker color and then come back in with the lighter color, and you will see that they mix together perfectly. However, had I let this dry first and then come in with a second coat, it would have been much harder to get rid of those harsh lines between the two colors, because like I said, Inktense, once they dry, they are permanent. So you want to do your fiddling while they are still wet. So I let this dry, and then I come back in with my second coat, because just like watercolors, these will dry back, and they will be a bit more faded than they were when they were wet. So, and like I said, I came in with at least 2 coats on everything. Those Christmas roses, hellebores, whatever you want to call them, I did 3 coats. And as you can see, they are really, really dark, like a dark burgundy. And that was the color I was hoping to achieve. So I came back in with another sentiment, and then there are 2 Christmas roses that are separate in that stamp set. And I'm just stamping these on the inside of my card to finish off my card. Because I do like to finish off the insides of my cards if I can. I don't always do them in my videos, but I do try to finish my cards before they get sent off. So I am just taking my card front, and I'm going to mat it on some metallic Kraftstock by Tim Holtz. I thought that was a nice complement to the gold heat embossing. Just going to lay my stamp positioner on top of that while it dries. And then I will mount this to the card base. And once I got this all finished, I really felt like that top right hand corner was really, really bare and needed a little something. I had considered masking and stamping the florals one more time in that corner when I was stamping, but I really didn't feel like cutting a mask. I knew this was going to take me a while to watercolor anyway, because I'm really slow at watercoloring. So I went through my gems and stuff, and I found these tonic oval gemstones. They're the pure Sheen gems, and they come in a couple different sizes. So I picked out the different sizes, and I thought just putting them in this corner from largest to smallest would kind of fill that that area and be kind of simplistic, I guess, kind of a clean and simple decoration. And so that's what I did. I didn't film me putting them on there because I didn't think it was really necessary, and it also took me a little bit of time getting those nice and straight. So then I came in with a Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen in Midas Touch, which is a gold shimmer. And I just went over the flowers, not the leaves, just all the flowers. And I thought that was a nice touch as well. So that finishes up my card for today. Don't forget to go visit Boryana's video, which will be linked in the description box below. She is a very talented colorist. She does beautiful watercoloring. She also does beautiful Copic coloring, but today she'll be watercoloring. And as always, have a great day.